Hey everybody. It's cold today. It's about 20 degrees, and as soon as I'm done with this, I'll try to get this posted because it's cold out here. This next video is about a guy who worked way back when in the Gilsonite mines down near Vernal, and one day he picked up a hitchhiker, and some really weird things unfolded during when he was picked up this hitchhiker girl, and it's something you're just gonna have to read about or listen about. And if you have any questions, please feel free to get a hold of Dan, and he has some information that you might want to study more about it. But his blog is at tiscaro.com. And anyway, let's get right into it. This next video, Dan, he gave to me a couple months ago, and I've been reading on it, and I think it's a good story, but I have my doubts on some of the things that it says, and
I don't blame you.
So maybe we can just go over the story and talk about some of the things that maybe or why was this story even written. Good question, I know.
Yeah, I mean,
because I know when you gave it to me, you said, "Here, see what you can do with this." I mean, that's about what you said.
in all reality, you can't say, you just can't say whether this is a true story or not.
Right. I mean, it could be
it's out there, but at the same time, you have to ask yourself, what sick mind came up with this?
I agree.
You know, to me, a made-up story, this isn't what you get.
You think you could have some more substance to a story that you made up.
Yeah.
Versus just saying, as a matter of fact, this is what this is, anyway.
Well, with that said, let's just say that we don't know whether this is true or not. It's interesting.
It is interesting, and the fact that you gave it to me, see what you could do with it, I don't know what I could do with it, so here we are again.
Okay, and I wanted to reacquaint myself with certain parts of the story, just so, because I'm going to give it verbally, I guess.
Sure, and I'll try to help you out if I can remember some of it.
Yeah. Apparently, and we don't know what year this happened. Based on what I've heard and based upon this road that they mention in here, what road it was, that road's been closed for a long dang time. And
when do you think it was closed?
Well, I've seen what's left of the bridge.
Okay.
And my guess is that bridge has been collapsed for at least 50 years.
Okay.
You know, it's been a long time. I don't know how old Johnny Brewer was. Don't know when he was born. Don't know when he died. But it happened in his lifetime. Whether it was in his younger years, older years, have no idea. But we won't mention some of the names that are in here.
Right.
But the story originally came from a guy by the name of Apache Jim Russell was his name. From what I understand, he lived over in the Vernal area, and he was working out at one of the gilsonite mines that's south of Vernal there. You have to come, you used to have to come west of Vernal, and then you took a side road that took you
down
south.
Right.
And it would cross a bridge, and that bridge has been gone for a long time.
And that would bring you over into...
Yeah, and then it shot down to one of the gilsonite mines.
And that's where he was working at night, I believe, wasn't it? Or...
I don't think it says. It doesn't indicate nighttime, daytime, whatever, but anyway, he was on his way out to the gilsonite mines and driving down that road, and it's quite a long road out in the middle of nowhere, and he comes upon this lady walking down the road in the same direction he's going. Long blonde hair, well dressed. Something different about her, the way she was dressed. It just wasn't the typical dress you're going to see in those times.
Right.
It was almost futuristic. And he pulls up alongside her and says,
"What gives?"
"Well, do you need some help?" And she says, "Well, no, not really, but, I've been waiting for you." "You've been waiting for me?"
And that's why you're walking?
She says, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, how can I help you?" And he said, "Well, you can give me a ride." And he said, "Okay, where are you going?" She says, "I'll show you." And she jumps in the Jeep, it was a Jeep. And
there were Jeeps back then.
They start driving down the road south, and she says, "There's a 2-track up here that takes off to the right." She says, "You want to take that?" And he, I guess, tried a time or two to find out, "What are you doing out here?" And I don't know how that conversation went, but
yeah,
that's what I'd be thinking is, what the hell are you doing way out here? And anyway, they turn on this 2-track. They went quite a ways on it. And about time he's getting a little nervous about where he's going, she says, "You see those twin buttes up there?" And he said, "Yeah." And she says, "There's a road there that takes off to the left, and you drive around that first butte, and that's where we're at." And he's thinking,
Who's we?
Who's we? And so they get out there, they drive around the butte, and they come around the corner, and he says, "I can't believe what I'm looking at, but there is a flying saucer, and it's sitting on 3 legs." And he says, and I started getting a little nervous, and she looked at me and she says, Don't be afraid. We're not here to hurt anybody." And
so the flying saucer wasn't crashed?
no.
Okay.
But he did mention somewhere right in there that there was also another spaceship, flying saucer, that was obviously crashed.
Okay.
In about half buried in the earth there. And she says, "We've been waiting for you. We have something for you to do." And this guy's a little freaked out. He's thinking, how the hell do they even know who I am? And just then he saw the ship, how it had a door that came down to where you could walk down out of it. Some guy comes walking down out of it, and he's a very handsome, nice-looking, blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy, kind of like the woman. And she kept assuring him, "Don't be afraid, And they invited him to go into the ship. And hesitantly, he agreed.
Yeah, they're going to probe him or something.
Say what?
They're going to probe him or something.
Yeah. Do weird experiments on him. But anyway, eventually he does go in, and they brought a case or something out from another room or whatever, and they laid it in front of him, and they opened it up, and they took out this device that he could only describe as it opened up like a book. Okay, picture a laptop computer. It opened up like a book, and when they turned this thing on, it was like a TV screen from the 40s. And then she, or he,
a tube-driven laptop,
took another small case that was in there and opened it up, and it had all these little round discs in it. And they explained to him that each one of these discs represents 100 years of history on Earth. And he said there's a bunch of them. And they showed him an example or something like that. But anyway, they said, we want you to deliver this to a certain individual. And they said, but before you do that, we need you to go to a certain place, and it's a bluff, and up on the ledges there's a map that's been carved into the ledge. And we need you to go there and make a copy of that, a detailed copy of that map. And then we need you, to the best of your ability, try to chisel that rock out of the side of the ledge and deliver it to this same person with the hand-drawn map. And
that just doesn't make any sense.
At this point, he's like, what the hell?
Exactly. I mean, that's what I think. I mean, if they got this futuristic craft, do you think they could just print out a map or give them something? I mean,
fly over there and take pictures of it, something.
Yeah, I mean, why do they have to make him do it?
So they didn't get seen? I don't know.
That's okay.
Anyway, so he agrees, and the man that he's supposed to take this to is Johnny Brewer. He has no idea who this Johnny Brewer is, and they told him that once you've got everything, we need you to go over to the area called Mount Pleasant, and there's a restaurant there, and we need you to go there and ask for Johnny Brewer. Now, this guy agrees to all of this.
It just seems so.
I don't know. I picture myself in his shoes.
It's like a steampunk type movie, you know.
I picture myself in his shoes, and as long as I didn't feel threatened, would I do what they're asking me to do?
Why not?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know about climbing up to this bluff and chiseling a damn map out of the side of the ledge.
The first thing I think of a chiseling side of the map is that you're going to get little chinks. You're not going to get this whole chunk of stuff. You're just going to get little pieces of.
Yeah.
How can you?
I don't know whether they gave him some special tool. I don't know whether it was the type of rock that you could even chisel it out. But according to the story, he succeeded.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, picture chiseling that thing out. Sure, you can chisel around it, but how are you going to get behind it?
And pop it off. And then, even if he did so, they probably weighed 100 pounds.
At least.
You know? I mean, even if it was that big, you know?
You know,
anyway.
It's ridiculous enough that when you consider that this story was made up, it's like, why?
Exactly. It's like, you couldn't have thought of something better.
Well, right here on the back that I've been showing the whole time, this is the map. Okay, and it's an odd map, and we'll get to that in a minute.
I do find the map interesting.
So anyway, he agrees. What's that?
I do find the map interesting when I look at it.
Well, yeah, I mean, once again, why?
Through the whole...
Who would do this? And who would come up with a written language that is quite clearly a written language, but nobody knows what writing system this is? I've had some pretty good people at this kind of thing look at this, and they said, well, you can tell it's a writing system because of the reoccurrence of certain characters and whatever. But I have no idea what it is. I've had a few say, well, it kind of looks like this, and this one says it kind of looks like this, and I can't even remember what those were. But anyway, so he takes this stuff, this seeming laptop computer with these little discs and the case that it came in and this map and whatever, and he drives over to Sanpete County. I don't know if he had a specific day that he was supposed to go or whatever, but he goes to this restaurant where he was told to go, and he goes in, gets a seat, and sits down, and he has no idea who he's there to see. And I guess some guy come walking in, and he comes and sits down kind of close to him, and he said, "Excuse me," he says, I can't remember whether he said, "Do you know Johnny Brewer?" or "Are you Johnny Brewer?" And he said, "Well, yeah, I'm Johnny Brewer."
I have these things I'm supposed to give
I mean,
to you.
I would have been frickin' amazed right then and there. But he says, "I have something for you," and he acknowledged. He says, "I know," and he gave him all that stuff. They went out to the vehicles, whatever, and put all the stuff in Johnny's truck, vehicle, whatever he was driving, and it was done.
That was it. So that's the end of the story.
Somewhere in there, it was so that Johnny could put them in the cave that had the records in it. Okay?
Okay, so the Brewer's Cave. He was going to put all
Probably.
these records in the Brewer's Cave.
Now, I admit, this is weird, it's strange, it's tough to make a call on it.
It's got to be...
The man, meaning Johnny Brewer, told Russell that he had been contacted by two persons and told him to secrete these things away once he got hold of them. Where he was going to hide them, Russell asked. He said, "In the Cave of the Ancients," came the reply. This man was Johnny Brewer. Cave he spoke of is east and north of the Manti Temple. So, treasure hunters, there you go. East and north.
If you want a laptop with some discs, anyway.
But the writing system, don't you hate it when you can't get hold of that little layer of paper because your thumb won't stop jumping around?
Yeah.
There's the rest of it, but
there might be a picture of the twin buttes in there, maybe.
Oh, this is the part that kind of threw up a red flag for me. He said, he spoke of, let's see, the cave held relics from past history and from other countries as well, from here. Even the Ark of the Covenant is housed there. Okay, now, I have some personal knowledge on that, and I'm going to say it's possible, I suppose. All that man has done for 1,000 years are on those little discs. So I would imagine there's about 10 of them. And it talks, the map shows where an ancient city was in the Henry Mountains, or at least on the northeast flank of Mount Ellen. The mesa, I don't know why we shouldn't say it, the mesa where the map was carved on the ledge is Factory Butte. And from what I gather, I don't know how I derived at this, and he told me to keep the story to myself when he handed it to me. But he's no longer living, so...
behind that map, is there another picture of the buttes?
Oh, This Jim Russell, Apache Jim Russell, apparently he was a bit of an artist, and he drew a picture of this area and where the UFO had crashed. And he drew a picture of the area. Said it slid for about 800 feet. And then he puts 2 buttes as near as I can remember. Now, I've been out in that neck of the woods, and I don't recall ever seeing buttes that looked like this. But he spent some pretty good time in drawing this. As you can see, he's pretty good artist. And once again, why?
Well, we know the name of the one butte, and if he's taking it off there, why is there's not another butte next to it? The chiseled thing?
What about the name?
No, he said that it gives you the name of the butte he chiseled it off of.
Factory butte. That has nothing to do with these.
Oh, okay.
This is where he was first taken and met with them in their flying machine.
Oh, okay. So
apparently they come to get the stuff out of the one that wrecked, that crashed.
And give it to a human.
I guess they were supposed to take it to Johnny Brewer.
And they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is a tough story to follow.
It is. Well, it's not tough to follow. It's tough to grasp. But then you look at this map, and if you know the area, Factory Butte and the Henry Mountains, and if you've ever been down there, there's something very unnatural about the Henrys, okay? In fact, I have been on a quest for quite some time to search for and try to locate anything pertaining to the 7 cities of Cibola. One of the locations on the map I've always suspected as being the Henry Mountains. And I feel like my locations, based on certain maps, I think they're fairly close. One day I just zoomed out on Google Earth. I had the Lake Kapala KMZ turned on, and I put my pins where I thought the cities would be in comparisons to the map, and one of those actually landed right smack dab on a location where I have suspected a buried city for a long time. And that kind of shocked me, little coincidental.
Right.
I won't say where that is, but because there's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
It's like telling somebody that, oh, I know exactly where a gold cache is. The first thing out of their mouths is why haven't you went and got one?
Right.
Believe me, if I knew exactly where a gold cache was here in the United States, we have to exclude Mexico.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably not going to go down there to get some gold bars. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
But you look at this map, and
It's a lot of detail there.
yeah,
And you even
and
have
the written language is what gets
Yeah,
me.
you even have what looks like to me is a Spanish turtle, a thunderbird with a thing, lance through it, or
Now I know it's likely impossible, but if anybody can shed some light on this,
that'd be so cool.
And
'cause
please refrain from, the smart-ass comments,
if you find us offensive by laughing at the story and you know something different or better about it, I apologize for laughing about it. But this is hard.
It's not that I'm not taking it serious.
It's
I take every story serious, but this one it's so out there, it's like, why would anybody do this?
right, because there's no, what's the rest of the story? Why Johnny Brewer? Why couldn't they?
Well, I don't think that. Let's assume it's all true, okay? I don't think this all happened so that Dan and Chuck could someday sit and talk about it on a video.
Right.
Right?
Right. I agree. I was having a hard time. I mean, should we even do this? But I think we should. I mean, it's a story that should be told, even though it's a story.
Oh, much crazier stories are being told today. And yet people want us to believe it. Yeah, they show this picture of a overhanging ledge, a big rock sticking out. Can you see it? And you're looking at the rock and you're going,
I see the rock.
yeah, I see a rock. And, no. Can you see the face? And I'm going, oh, yeah, I can see the face. What are you trying to tell me? To me, that's just as crazy as this.
Yeah. Because there's so many people that just want something to be there. They've been searching it and searching for it, and then they see something, they just want it to be there, and they make it live in their head. And it just...
Hey, look at the article I just recently wrote. The one on the stones in the meadow.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's crazy. Okay? Jeez. I mean, so who am I to sit and laugh at this?
Because we can. It's not that, like you said, it's not that we're laughing at. It's the whole thing. It's like, what's the purpose?
Yeah. Why? If it was something that was imagined and made up by somebody, where in the hell did they get the idea for this?
And why go so elaborate? That map is an excellent map. I wish it was...
why not just tell a crazy story and be done with it?
Right.
But that's not the half of it. There's apparently at one point he wanted to give you an idea of what this woman looked like, and he compared her to an image from Star Trek.
I threw those away.
But he drew a picture too. He drew a picture of the woman that he remembered.
I think that's in there.
And he compared it to the woman from Star Trek.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Okay. He's not saying that that's her. And then the woman that he drew the picture of.
I'm pretty sure I threw one away.
It's here.
Oh, is it? Okay.
We didn't get all of it, but this is his drawn rendition of her. But like I said, this isn't all of the picture.
Right.
It's been cut off.
Tilt it that way.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay, so, but what he did is he drew the picture and said she looked a lot like that girl on Star Trek.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got me, Dan. I think.
Well, I'll be the first one to admit that I believe in those flying machines, okay? I don't believe that or that a bunch of aliens came here and interbred with, what were they called? Neanderthals and created our species, okay? Are we aliens from another planet or descendants from aliens? Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry to say yes. Adam was not from this planet.
True.
Neither was Eve. They were arced over from another planet. They came here as immortal beings. Okay, so are we alien? Yeah, I guess so.
You can look at that way as God as well.
I just don't see it the way they do on that show, Ancient Aliens, okay?
Well, ancient alien theorists say yes. Sorry.
Good point. Aliens on Earth, next to the ocean, out in the desert. So, is there anything you want to ask or add to this? Or?
No, I think we did a fairly good job without dragging it too far.
Don't blame me.
Well, okay, so if anybody has any more information or they've seen something similar to this story or even close to this story that might have a little bit of different look on this story,
Or if you would like to see a better example, a close-up of the writing system, that wouldn't be that hard to take a snapshot
you can
and
either
send it to
you
somebody.
can either comment in the comments, or you can actually email Dan at tuscaro.com. That's TUSCORO.com. He'll take emails.
Did you just say TUSCRO?
TUSOCRO. No, geez, there we go again. TUS.
When all else fails, don't ask Chuck.
It's
TUSCORO.
RORO, like the gold. Oro.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
I know. I already done that. But you can, or you can email me at legendsunearthedllc.com.
There's Chuck's today's weird story.
Oh, I hope there's not too many of those.
No, there's a couple more.
Well, I got to put this in a different category now, and I have to do a whole new like alien.
One of these days, we got to talk about the golden ball with strange hieroglyphs, small hieroglyphs, all over it that was found.
You talking about like a Liahona type thing?
Huh?
Be something like a Liahona small ball?
Well, a ball, probably about the size of a softball. It's gold colored, made out of gold, and it had hieroglyphs all over it. Some guy found it down in the western Sanpete Mountains.
Wow. How long ago was that?
I'm surprised you don't have the story.
No, I never heard that
I'll
before.
have to find it. I don't know that there's a written story.
The first thing that comes to mind is a Liahona type thing, as spindles and things like that, but if it's just a ball, then no.
I'm not positive, but I think there was also a strange rock that was found in there, and it's actually got what almost appears to be a polychrome look to it, but it's a face, almost like a photo. It's weird.
Like
but that might be another story
holographic
in the
type
same
look?
general area. Kinda, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, let's if you want to let that go, you have to find out who gave that to
Anybody
you.
out there that is on the verge of a miraculous discovery on how to kill flies within 100 yards all at once, just let me know. Okay? God, I hate flies.
And with that, we'll let you go.
Okay, see you. Here you go.
I think I'm going to file this so it stays in my family heirloom somewhere.
You can tell we were trying very hard to take that one serious. I mean, I'm not saying it.
Dan, I just don't know. It's just I can't even. You can't even speculate a different.
I can't look at the camera and say, this man was driving down the road.
I can't either.
And they came around the bend and there was a flying saucer. I can't do it. Hey, you found your pen. I can't do it.
I know. So if you get some more information on that gold ball thing, if you're allowed to talk about it, I don't know who told you about it. But...
He's dead now.
Oh.